I'm joined right now by the president and CEO of the Green Bay Packers. He has been in that capacity since 2007. He has earned Super Bowl rings both as an executive and as a player. Played in the NFL for 8 years with the Redskins, and you may or may not know the Packers have announced a stock offering starting today. It is only the 5th time in the 92-year history of that team that stock in the club has gone up for sale. We will talk about that. I'm joined right now by Mark Murphy. Mark, it's great to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Nice to have you on. Good to talk to you. Mark, start, if you would, first with the game against New York over the weekend. You know, the team has not been in a position where it's had to come from behind this year, really at all. To see yourself on the road trailing late and to see that team come back the way it did to win, how'd that make you feel?
Well, it was a little more exciting than I would have wanted. But, I thought it was a good test for us. And I was particularly happy for our offense, and in particular, Aaron. I mean, obviously, Aaron Rodgers has developed into a phenomenal quarterback, but there have been people that have said, you know, he's never really led a fourth quarter comeback. I was pretty impressed with what he did. I mean, he's playing at such a level now, Jim, that I've been around the league for a long time, and he's as good as anybody I've seen.
Mark Murphy joining us on the show. As good as anybody, Mark? I mean, when we're talking about the best of the best, is he in that category? Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana, that good?
Well, we'll see over time. But, I mean, he is, he reminds me, I was fortunate enough to play against Joe Montana a number of times, and I see a lot of similarities. They both make the game look so easy. The game just seems to slow down for him, and Aaron is really playing at a very high level now. But I think let's talk about it in about 10 years, and then when the full breadth of his career is in focus. But he has an opportunity to do some great things for us.
Mark Murphy is the president and CEO of the Green Bay Packers. Mark, when you and I have that conversation in 10 years, will we be talking about him being the greatest Packer quarterback of all time? Any doubt about that?
Well, we've got some good ones. I mean, starting with obviously Bart Starr, and in terms of championships, and obviously what Brett has done. But I think he has an opportunity to accomplish an awful lot during his career.
Yeah, Mark, you don't let Brett Favre go before Brett Favre is done playing football, when he's got plenty of football left, unless you know you have something special in Aaron Rodgers. So you knew you had that, but did you have any idea you had this?
Yeah, that's a good question. We knew he was good, but I don't think any of us could have said that he would be playing at this level. But it's a tribute to him. It's the quality of the person and his work ethic, and I just couldn't be happier for him. That was a difficult time for the organization, but for him as well. I mean, a lot of people questioned whether he could follow Brett and play at the same level, and he just kept working at it, and it's gotten better and better. And it's really been very very gratifying to see him have this kind of success.
Yeah, difficult for a lot of people. You're right, for him, certainly. I can remember him coming on this show and talking about how a fan wanted to fight him at his car once. And I would say it's certainly difficult for those who made that decision. You as part of a brain trust were intimately involved in that. I mean, Mark, needless to say, the stakes were extremely high. If that doesn't work out and Aaron Rodgers isn't who you think he is, then you and some of your partners are the guys that ran Brett Favre out of town, the guy who ran the legend out of town. That would not have gone well. Talk about what you had to deal with to make that decision.
Well, you're right. It's it's funny. And I was very early in my tenure then, Jim. I was first few months in the job, and had to deal with it, and it was difficult. But looking back on it, I think to me, in my position, it was very beneficial early in my tenure to deal with a difficult issue like that. I think it forged a good relationship that Ted Thompson and Mike McCarthy and I have now, and I think we're seeing the benefits of it now. And we all knew and we felt that we made the right decision. We didn't waver. We stuck to it. And the other thing I would say, Jim, is thankfully, Aaron Rodgers has turned out to be a very good quarterback.
That helps.
If he wasn't, we wouldn't be having the same conversation.
No question. Mark Murphy joining us. I mean, Mark, you played in the NFL before. You won a Super Bowl, obviously an accomplished executive. But what was it like to drop into Green Bay? Because if you haven't been there before, and frankly, I'm not going to speak from any point of authority. I've been there, but I haven't spent a lot of time there. But it's a small town that's obsessed with that football team, and we're obsessed with Brett Favre. When you first got there and you saw what you found yourself in, exactly what was it like and what did you think?
Well, it's fortunate. Having played in the league, I was familiar with Green Bay and knew about the history and tradition and the kind of fan support we have. But, reading about it and knowing about it is different than living in it. And, it's no question. We have the best fans in the league. And I think, Jim, one of the reasons is our ownership structure. Our fans, have a vested interest in the team because of our community ownership structure, and that's why we're excited about this stock sale. It's a chance for us to strengthen the bond and the tie that our fans have with the team, and that really provides benefits to us in many ways.
I mean, Mark, so what is this? Are we talking about your local fan base, or now do you feel like you've got some claim as America's team and it's a stock offering nationwide?
Well, it is definitely nationwide. We've got approval and clearance in all 50 states. And I feel like we're a national team. And, I look at it this way, Jim. Obviously I'm a little biased, but I think we are a lot of football fans' second favorite team. I think they just like the idea of, number one, a team from a small market and community-owned and, against all odds, we have success. We compete against teams from New York and Chicago and the bigger markets. I think that resonates well with people, and, we'll see. I think this is an opportunity for us to build our fan base. When we've had 4 previous stock sales, Jim, most recent one in 97. But this is the first time that we will be able to sell stocks or shares online. So we think that opens up a much larger market for us than we've had in the past.
Mark Murphy, President and CEO of the Packers. Mark, if I buy a share, does that then enable me to have a say in personnel decisions and play calling and things like that?
No, you don't get that right, Jim. But you can come to a shareholder meeting and complain to me and ask questions during the meeting. And it's a good question. It's not a traditional investment. And the main benefits that come from it are the opportunity to attend the annual shareholders meeting. You do have voting rights, and the main thing that you vote on is the slate of board of directors that are elected. And you also periodically we have special or on an annual basis we have special apparel for our shareholders. And when we are fortunate enough to win the Super Bowl, we have a special collection. We did that last year through Johnston's, and that was very popular with our fans. But all that aside, the best thing is it gives you bragging rights. You can say that you own a piece of the Super Bowl championship team.
Hey, Mark, if you guys run the table, does the stock go up in value or does it never change?
No. You cannot resell the stock, and it's really the value. We like to say, Jim, it's priceless, but that's another way of saying that you can't sell it. But we know. I mean, it's a way to support your team and to help us financially. We're going forward with the project, and this will allow us to help fund our project and help continue or to ensure that our team continues to have great success on the field.
Well, it can't go up, but it certainly can't go down. That's a good thing. And Mark, can you imagine? It's too bad that it will never happen, but when the latest Brett Favre rumor started up, I started to laugh at it, but then I started to think about it for a minute. It would be inconceivable to me if he were to play for not one, but both of the Packers' arch rivals. And could you imagine them rolling him in on Christmas night to Lambeau?
That would be interesting, Jim. That would, I mean, we'll see. I mean, people have joked he's working his way around the NFC North. So he's halfway there now.
What you would call interesting, I would call awesome. All right, so if they want to buy their stock, where do they go?
Jim, go to PackersOwner.com, and it'll be very easy and efficient. I do ask our fans to be patient. We've had pretty strong surge in terms of people going on the website. Jim, we sold in the first 2 hours and 20 minutes. We sold 28,000 shares. So it's up and running.
I'll tell you what, by the end of this interview, Mark, you may have a new stadium built.
Well, that would be great. I hope there's a lot of clones out there that are Packer fans, soon to be Packer owners.
Oh, you know it. There's no doubt. Mark, good luck with that. Nice to have you on the show.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Take care.
Thank you. I'm going to see if I can get an ownership group together and we can just start stockpiling it. I want to start accumulating stock so maybe I can somehow become the Packers owner. I need some rich friends. Hey, man, are you good for any? You're good for 5. You're good for 10. You're good for 100. You're good for 1,000 shares. Let's do this. And all of a sudden, maybe tomorrow I'll wake up. If I go online, just keep hitting send, buy. Maybe I'll own the Packers. Put together an ownership group. I need some rich friends. KB, I don't know any rich guys. Do you? I don't know any rich guys. Do you? I'm kind of racking my brain trying to think if I know any rich people. Stu, you got any money? Alvy? Yeah, I should tell you, the shares cost $250 each. But as he points out, they don't go up, they don't go down. You get your certificate, you get voting rights, and you get to say, I am a shareholder. I am an owner in the